Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you are all very well. Today I'd like to talk about how to steer a car properly. I'll be showing you exactly how much steering is required to move a car from a parked position. And once the vehicle is moving, I'll show you how you can keep the car straight in your lane without drifting towards the left or the right. And of course, I'll be showing you how to turn right and left using the DVSA push-pull method of steering. However, before I continue any further, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all our current subscribers, because without you guys, this video today would not be possible. If you are watching this channel and you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button right now, because one, it'll mean that you do not miss out on our future videos, and two, that you'll be supporting the channel, enabling us to make more videos. Before we can steer a car, we need to be able to reach the steering wheel comfortably. And from where I'm sitting at the moment, yes, I can reach the steering wheel, but I can't control it properly because I can't reach it comfortably. So the first most important thing is that I need to get the steering wheel adjusted for me to drive. So I'm going to put one hand on the steering wheel, and there's a lever that runs under my seat, and I've just moved my seat forward. I now need to put my wrist on the top of the steering wheel, and there should be no gap. So I can reach the steering wheel, but there's a little bit of a gap between myself and the back of the car. So I'm just going to go a touch forward. There's no gap now, and I can reach the steering wheel. The steering wheel has different settings on different vehicles. On some vehicles, the steering wheel can come in and out. On others, it'll go up and down. On this particular car, there's a lever here, and I can move the steering wheel up and down. Now, on the low level at the moment for me, even though I can reach the steering wheel comfortably, I cannot see all the dials. Now, this is very important because anything over 20 miles an hour, I can't see the speedometer. So I need to be able to know what speed I'm doing. So I need to be able to see the whole speedometer, all the dials. So I unlock that again, and I move it up so I can see the whole dials, and then remember to lock it up again. So as I said, wrist on the steering wheel, and you want to hold the steering wheel, if you pretend it's a face of a clock, at the 2:45 position like so, or the 1:50 position like so. Both of them are acceptable. When you're holding the steering wheel, as I said, one, there should be no gap between yourself and the back of the seat, and also there should be a slight bend in the elbow, so I'm now in a comfortable position. So I'm just going to move off, and I'm going to show you how little steering is actually involved in moving off. A lot of people think, yeah, like in the movies or gaming, they steer a lot. Again, if we pretend it's a face of a clock, we've got the 12 o'clock here, 3 o'clock there, 1 and 2 there. We only need to steer about 5 minutes towards the right, and the car will start moving towards our right. So I'm going to be moving off from here. Just put the vehicle into gear, and all I'm going to do now is steer about 5 minutes towards the right there, and the car is moving off. And now I steer about 10 minutes towards the left to straighten up the car, and then once the car is straight, I straighten my wheels, and I'm driving along nicely. So there was very little steering involved there. I'm just going to be turning left onto this road, and then I'm going to demonstrate to you on not just one, I'm going to give you various ways of how you can keep the steering wheel straight. Now, firstly, sorry, not the steering wheel straight, how to keep the car in your lane. Firstly, if you look ahead, you can see in the center of my lane there's a little dirt track. This is where all the exhaust smoke have been going, so that's where the majority of the vehicles have been going. So at the moment I'm just looking at the dirt track, and that helps me centralize my vehicle in my lane. There are other ways that can help you to keep your car central, and I will talk about those just after this roundabout. Now, even on this road we've got the dirt track. Now, a lot of learner drivers, when, especially as I say, in a manual car, when they're changing gears, their car tends to drift towards the right. And if this happens to you, then you're holding the steering wheel too tightly, because what happens is when you're holding the steering wheel tightly like so, you're putting pressure on the right and you're putting pressure on the left. But when you take your hand off to change gears, then you're pulling on the right and the car shoots off in that direction. So ideally what you want to be doing is holding the steering wheel lightly, as if though you were holding two raw eggs. So hold the steering wheel lightly as if you're holding two raw eggs, and the car will just go along nicely. The other method that you can use is look at the driver in front and ask yourself, is that person in the correct position? If the person is not in the correct position, then do not follow them. But if they're in the correct position, so I'm looking at the driver in front and he seems to be in the correct position, so I can just look at the driver in front and I can follow that driver's path. Now, as I said, a lot of people, they hold the steering wheel unnecessarily tight. You don't even have to hold the steering wheel all the time, even though you should. So if I come off the steering wheel like now, the car is just going. So I'm not asking you to do this, but what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to hold the wheel very tightly. You just hold it as if you're holding two raw eggs, and just move the wheel either 5 minutes towards the left or 5 minutes towards the right, depending on the sharpness of the road. For example, if there's a sharp bend, then you might have to steer a bit more. Now the bus is stopping on the left, so I'm going to change lane. Now there's very little steering to do. So if you look at the steering wheel, I've just turned about 5 minutes and I've managed to change lane, and now back there. So very little steering involved again. I'm now going to change back, moving into my lane after these parked cars, and again, very little steering. The other thing you can do is you can use your side mirrors to see how much gap you've got between the pavement and the white hazard line. Now that you know how much steering is required to move the car from a parked position, and you know how to keep the car in the center of your lane without drifting towards one side or another, we need to know how to turn right and or left. As I said earlier on in the video, the DVSA recommends the push and pull method of steering. So let's talk about that. So again, if we pretend this is a face of a clock, we've got the 12 o'clock here, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Ideally, when you're driving, you want to be holding the steering wheel at the 2:45 position like so, or the 10:2 position like so. The push and pull method of steering in its simplest form means that you are pulling with one hand and pushing with the other, but not at the same time. Is actually one hand does the pulling and then the other hand does the pushing. So if I go like so now, push, pull, it looks like both hands are doing the job at the same time. But as I said, it's alternatively. So let me demonstrate that in slow motion and talk you through it. So my right hand comes to the top and then my left hand comes to the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull with my right hand, but the left hand is basically doing nothing. It's just sliding down. So here it is. So that's open now, and that just goes like that. And again, there. So I'm only really using one hand at a time. So I'm going to go left now. So I'm pulling here, and this is just sliding. So I'm pulling with my left hand, and the right hand is just sliding down. Now I'm pushing with my right hand, and the left hand is sliding up. Pulling with my left hand, and the right hand is just sliding. So it's pull and push. It's a difficult method to learn in the beginning, but you can practice this at home with a dinner plate, a large dinner plate. You can even, if you're afraid that you're going to break the dinner plate, you can even use a cardboard, cut out cardboard in a circle. Here I've got a lid, a strong lid, which I know is not going to break. So you can hold the lid and you can go pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. So you're only using one hand at a time to start with. So this hand's off, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. And once you get used to that, and the other way, so you're only using one hand, once you get used to it, leave the other hand, leave both hands on, and just slide them like so. There. And that's all there is to it. So, oh, I was just going to go for a little drive, but I just remembered something, and I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why the DVSA recommends the push and pull method of steering. And that is, inside the steering wheel here is an airbag, and the airbag is designed to cushion your face in the event of an incident. So if you were involved in an accident, the airbag will pop out and it'll protect you. However, if your hands are crossed like this and you're doing something else, what's going to happen is, if you do have an accident, then the airbag's going to pop out, but because your arm is there, your hand is here, you're going to end up punching yourself at a very high speed. So I'm going to be going for a very short drive, and I'm going to demonstrate the push and pull method of steering. So there's a turning on my left, the first turning, that's the turning that I'm going to be turning into. I'm going to do it a lot slower than I would normally do because there's no one behind me at the moment. It seems like quite a sharp turning, so I am going to turn more than I would normally do. And here I go. So my left hand pulls down, and then the right hand does the work, and the left hand a bit. So that's all the steering I'm doing. even though it's a very sharp turning. And now I'm like 3/4 of the way into the turning. I need to straighten my wheel out, otherwise the car is going to go crashing into the pavement. So as I go forward now, I'm pulling and pushing there. So even though that was a sharp turning, I didn't do that much steering. So I'm going to be turning right into this road here. So I'm back onto my side of the road and pull, push, and that's enough. Just let the car do the job. Pull, push. So there's not that much steering involved, because once you've turned the wheels remain like that and the car will just follow it. I'm coming to the end of the road shortly, and I'm going to be planning to turn right. Now, I don't want to start turning straight away here, because otherwise I'm going to end up on the wrong side of the road. So I do need to go up further and now turn and straighten up. Well, that brings the video to a conclusion. I hope that you've benefited from this video. If you have, please support the channel by sharing this with at least one person, as it helps us to expand the channel and make more videos for you guys. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye bye.